Hey guys, what's going on? James here, and in this video today, we are going to be talking about all the players that we all should be keeping an eye on for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers Week 4 matchup versus the New Orleans Saints. This is always a tough matchup for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and this upcoming game should be no different, and we'll talk about that more in the preview video, but for today's video, let's talk about some players to keep an eye on. First and foremost is Mike Evans. His matchup versus Marshawn Lattimore is always one to watch, sometimes for good reasons, sometimes for bad reasons. There's a lot going on with that rivalry and whatnot. It is what it is at the end of the day, and there's certainly been a lot of back and forth there. But Mike Evans has certainly been on a good, stretch of play here in the beginning of the season. And it's a new offensive coordinator. It's a new scheme. How will that affect the Buccaneers' kind of strategy versus the Saints? I don't know. We're going to have to wait and see. But Mike Evans is a big part of that. Let's see how he does. Also, Rachaad White and the offensive line, I think definitely have to be mentioned. We've been talking about these guys a lot this week, that being Rachaad White and the offensive line, and really just the run blocking as a whole. Right, has definitely been, worth mentioning because, yeah, there's been a lot going on there regarding the offensive line, Rachaad White, and the overall, what I would call a semi-ineffectiveness to the Bucs run game. Now, have they been able to get crucial first downs in situations where they needed to? Yes, for sure, but you still need a lot of consistency there. Haven't necessarily seen that yet from the Bucs, and this is going to be a game where you're going to have to be paying attention to it because guess what? The Bucs are not going to stop running the football. They're still going to continue to do that. So let's pay attention to those guys. Let's see how they do. Defensively, there's a few guys, right? I think the secondary is a big one here. You have Michael Thomas coming in. He's going to be an interesting guy worth paying attention to, obviously, on the Saints side. But the Bucs secondary is banged up, right? They worked out William Jackson and Tay Hayes. We talked about that earlier this week. After that, you've got a lot of different guys on the roster, like Derek Pitts Jr. got playing time last week. You have Christian Izien, who got, obviously he's a starting cornerback. You have Zion McCollum, who got extensive playing time last week. The Bucs are pretty thin at cornerback already here at the beginning of the season, and a lot of guys who don't necessarily have a ton of experience are going to be getting playing time in this matchup. You bet that you should be paying attention to those guys. How are they going to do? How are the Tampa Bay Buccaneers going to mask their weaknesses and, enhance their strengths and whatnot? That is going to be worth paying attention to 100%. Also, I want to pay attention to Jotron Chewinka. I think that last week was pretty disappointing, considering he came in week 2 and overall looked very good. It just seemed like he didn't have a lot of power last week. The speed is still definitely there, but JTS just seems like he's been lacking a lot of power in his game lately, which is unfortunate, versus the last team the Tampa Bay Buccaneers faced, the Philadelphia Eagles. He was just getting really manhandled throughout most of the contest. And I get it. The Eagles have a fantastic offensive line, one of the best in the league. And the Saints do not have, a good offensive line when compared to the Philadelphia Eagles. But again, the Saints play the Bucs tough. And you've got to get pressure on whoever the quarterback may be it Derek Carr, Jameis Winston. You got to get pressure. Now, obviously, Vita Vea is going to be involved in that. Logan Hall is going to be involved in that. Will Golston, Shaq Barrett, Devin White's going to be involved in there. But I specifically want to focus in more so on JTS just because, he's had a little bit of inconsistency there between week 2 with the Chicago Bears, where he looked really good, and week 3 versus the Philadelphia Eagles, where he didn't do a lot. And it was just noticeable that he wasn't able to get a lot done in those situations. So let's pay attention to JTS. Let's see how he does. Finally, hey, might as well talk about these guys. Let's talk about the kicker and punter. Both have been doing an excellent job so far this year. Chase McLaughlin, I think, has been fantastic. Jake Camarda, I think, is on a Pro Bowl season pace, possibly all-pro season pace as well. He's been great. I think he just got named Special Teams Player of the Month for the NFC. Had a 74-yard punt at one point. He's just been really good also. So let's pay attention to those guys. Let's see how they do. Because, they've been good so far, and that's great to see, right? I think Chase McLaughlin's been a very pleasant addition to the team so far. Jake Camarda's been doing Jake Camarda things, which everybody knows what he can do. And yeah, special teams has been good regarding the kicking and punting situations. Punt coverage, kickoff coverage, still needs some work, for sure. Still needs some work, but, the kicker and punter are still doing a good job, so that's good. But folks, that's it for this quick video. Let me know your guys' thoughts and opinions down in the comments section below about all the players that we talked about. Would love to hear your guys' thoughts and opinions on that. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Hope y'all enjoyed. And as always, folks, I'll see you on the next video or the next live stream. But until then, and as always, guys, goodbye for now, and go Bucs.